김인우가 여름이한테 결혼하자고 했다더라?
들었어?
그래서 넌 어쩌려고?
내가 뭘 어째?
너 여름이 좋아하잖아. 그만 찌질거리고 고백해.
What Love is for Suckers tells us in the first weeks is that love is a lot about timing. Park Jae-hoon has loved Gu Yeo-reum as a friend for decades and never seriously thought about dating her. In the past, when he felt moments of attraction for his friend, he didn't want to ruin something deep and meaningful in his life for something that could be ephemeral. Because at the time, he knew that he did not feel strongly enough for Yeo-reum for anything to last.
이 정도 감정으로 가끔 여자 같아서 다가가는 건 아니잖아.
But all that started to change one day when these two friends found themselves in a place in their lives where they were both single and careers, other partners, or other considerations were not taking up their entire attention. And as their friend Oh Hye-jin points out to Jae-hoon, it was finally the right time for them.
내 생각엔 지금이 너희들 타이밍 같아.
I feel like friends to lovers stories never really emphasize this point enough. That two people don't ultimately fall in love because they were best friends. Love may be friendship, as Kuch Kuch Hota Hai famously puts it, but friendship does not mean that two people are destined for love. If best friends fall in love, it was because they were beside each other when the time was right and they were ready. In one of my favorite Friends to Lovers dramas, Reply 1997, a young So In-guk suffered for years because of his unrequited love.
만나지 말까?
Because his best friend was too busy idolizing her favorite boy bands to recognize his feelings for her. But then, 10 years later, it was her turn to fall in love with him. I feel like we take away the wrong lesson from these stories. It is not that the two of them were fated to be together. It's that they were lucky to have each other at a time when they could both feel the same way. It's rare and not a given. Anything could have happened. This is further illustrated in Love is for Suckers through Yeo-reum's relationship with her ex-boyfriend Kim In-woo. 3 years ago, they had broken up because neither of them could give up their career paths to be together. But now Kim In-woo was back at her side and both of them seem willing to compromise. However, a lot of time has passed, a lot of things have changed between them, and the feelings that were really strong 3 years ago don't feel the same anymore. They decide to get married almost as soon as Kim In-woo comes back because, as Kim In-woo puts it,
오랜만에 나타나서 연애하자고 하면 그게 더 문제 있는 거 아니야?
he means it would be odd because they had already dated so long before breaking up 3 years ago, and both of them were older now. Kim In-woo was 40, Yeo-reum was 37, so they just decided to marry because it was a comfortable next step and they were familiar with each other. But both of them had changed in the years apart. It's clear to the viewer that Yeo-reum no longer feels the spark that she felt for this man before. She agreed to marry him because he inundated her with gifts and attention and made her feel wanted again. She was going through a particularly vulnerable phase in her life where she felt unwanted romantically, and In-woo came in and filled in that gap for her. So he was clearly a comfortable, safe choice. And Yeo-reum compromised with herself. Even if she couldn't have the passionate love that she wanted, she could at least have the love of the man who genuinely cares for her. And then we find out that just like Jae-hoon, Yeo-reum also had moments when she saw her friend and saw somebody she could potentially fall in love with. But then the timing was always off and Jae-hoon was a bit of a child and she brushed it off. And so we come back to the question.
그럼 너 여름이가 다른 남자랑 결혼해도 괜찮아?
And he can't say yes. 3 years ago, he would have been okay. 3 years ago, when Yeo-reum was engaged to the same guy, almost got married to him, Park Jae-hoon would have attended their wedding, congratulated them, genuinely wished them the best for a life together. But that was then, this is now, and it's different. This time was different. In the lull of their careers slowing down and the two of them spending a lot of time together, Jae-hoon and Yeo-reum got a lot closer. And this time, the feelings were not just lukewarm interest to be brushed aside, but much deeper. So even as Jae-hoon tells Haejin that he can't approach Yeo-reum while feeling only this much, it doesn't quite ring true. He's clearly thought about it in the past and repeated this reasoning to himself like a mantra. But his silence to Haejin's question tells us that he knows that it no longer holds true. He likes Yeo-reum now, and this time it's not like before. And if a final nail was required on that coffin, Kim Min-woo, Yeo-reum's ex-boyfriend, comes to warn Park Jae-hoon off at his home. And where Jae-hoon was trying to distance himself from Yeo-reum's decision to be with this man again by just not thinking about it much, it's an entirely different matter when the guy comes to Park Jae-hoon's home and tells him to stay away from his best friend. It showed Jae-hoon where the line with Yeo-reum was drawn for him. It was with Yeo-reum on his side and Kim Min-woo on the outside. Cue the best running montage of self-recrimination. See, the timing has been right for Yeo-reum and Jae-hoon for a while now, but neither knew to act on it. There were so many moments between them that could have been the start of something more, but something went wrong or Jae-hoon actively destroyed them.
보고 싶어서 왔어.
And now with a little help from his friend and a lot of luck on his side, Park Jae-hoon might still be able to turn things around before this time passes them by completely.